Hello, welcome to another video. How are you all doing? I hope you're all well. So today's video we are gonna talk about the World Cup. So as you probably know, the group stage finished recently, yesterday I believe, and we're gonna talk about the group stage games and see how the teams did, and also we are gonna do some predictions about the round of 16 into the today's video. So thank you for watching, it means a lot, I appreciate it, and I hope you're all well, and I hope you're all enjoying the World Cup so far as much as I am. So yes, let's start with today's video. So the World Cup group stages finished yesterday, and I don't know about you, but I enjoyed it quite a lot. It was probably the best group stage from a World Cup that I personally can remember. So granted, I haven't watched that many World Cups, so the last World Cup that I remember clearly is the 2014 one from Brazil. So yeah, this one has been the most exciting for me personally, with a lot of shock results, a lot of weaker teams surprising the big European and South American teams and things like that. So let's look at the group stage group by group and see how the teams did in this stage. So starting with group A. So actually in my previous video that I did a couple of months ago, and in which I predicted how the group stage would go, actually I predicted this group correctly, I believe. So the Netherlands ended up finishing first with 2 wins and 1 draw. Senegal second, and Ecuador, surprisingly, they finished third, and they were about 10 to 15 minutes away from surprising Senegal and being the team that's going to qualify. So I believe they needed one more goal to achieve that. And Qatar, at the end, they were a very bad team and a very boring team actually. They ended up the group with 3 losses, and did they score a goal? Yes, they scored only 1 goal, so a goal difference of -6. And yeah, this was not that exciting group. So Ecuador made it a lot better than I thought it would be, and I wish they went through. They had a good team, and yes, that's pretty much it about Group A. Now moving to Group B. So here England, obviously they finished top of the group with 7 points, 2 wins, 1 draw, and then surprisingly for me at least, the US finished second. Actually, in my predictions I believe I said that the Wales would finish second, but they absolutely disappointed me in this tournament. They looked awful, and England deserved to finish second, but I personally was cheering for Iran to go through because of that second game they played. That was a great game against Wales with a lot of opportunities for Iran. They played the full 90 or 100 minutes actually, attackingly trying to score goals with attack after attack, going for it, and in the end they won the game 2-0, and I was cheering for them against the US. But the two teams moving forward from this group are England and the US. Group C, I suppose no surprises in this group. So Argentina finished first as expected, and Poland coming second, with Mexico in third. but Mexico disappointed me in a way in this World Cup. I predicted that they would finish second in this group, but all the way until the end, the last game, they were bad in this tournament, so they did not perform very well in the first and the second game. And in the end, actually, well, they conceded that last minute goal against Saudi Arabia, but before that they were actually very close to going in the round of 16. So Poland was actually second based on yellow cards. Mexico had one or two more yellow cards, and that was the reason why Poland was going through. But after that, Saudi Arabia scored a goal against Mexico, and at the end it was because of the goal difference. So Saudi Arabia really surprised me in this group. So that first game against Argentina, that was the first shock of this tournament. I don't think anyone saw that one coming. They won the game 2-1, and they showed an amazing spirit, team spirit, fighting spirit, and they are one of the teams that really surprised me in this World Cup. Moving into Group D, another surprise here. So France finished first as expected, but then we have Australia finishing second, with Tunisia third, and the first disappointment of this tournament, Denmark finishing second, last, with only 1 point. So Denmark, after their successful Euros a year ago, they were considered a dark horse for a lot of people for this tournament. For me, not so much, but I have to say I expected them to get out of this group easily and then get knocked out in the round of 16 or the quarterfinals. But they didn't look good in this tournament. They did not look like a team, but a bunch of individuals, and in the end they deserved to get eliminated. And Australia surprisingly is the team to do that. Now Australia pretty much played all three games the same way, so they are that extremely defensive team. The way they play is they try to score a goal, and when they do, they just park the bus and hope for the best. And it worked out against Tunisia and against Denmark, because both of those teams just can't score goals. But it didn't work out in the first game against France, when they scored the first goal, but then France just scored four goals on them. And yeah, that's the Group D. It was to an extent exciting group. Now Group E, this group was crazy all the way until the end. So as you can see, the first real shock of the group stage is Japan. They finished this group first with 2 wins, and both of those wins are against Spain and Germany. So they lost their game against Costa Rica, and they won the 2 games against the European teams with the same score, 2-1. So basically it was pretty much the same game against Spain and Germany. They go down 1-0, and then they wait patiently, and at the end of the game, with 2 counter-attacks, they score 2 goals and they hold the lead. So Spain finished second, and Germany got eliminated together with Costa Rica. So actually, the thing I noticed in this group, in the last match, I believe Spain actually calculated to finish second in this group. So after Japan scored their second goal, I don't think Spain tried really to win that game, or at least to draw it. I think they were happy with finishing second in this group, because that means they will get an easier round, or an easier route actually to the final or the semi-final. So with finishing second, Spain now plays Morocco in the round of 16, and then possibly Portugal or Switzerland. And if they finished first, they would have played Croatia and then Brazil most likely, which is a lot harder. So yeah, I think Spain calculated this result, and shout out to Japan, they deserve to win, nothing against them, but Spain did not go for it at the end. They were just passing around and waiting for the game to end, and they got what they wanted. They finished second, and Germany got eliminated from the tournament. So moving into Group F, another big surprise. So Morocco, let me just drink a little bit of water. So Morocco finished first in this group. Another shock, for me at least. I have to say I was not familiar with Morocco, with their team, or with any African team actually. So they really surprised me in a very positive way. I loved the way they played. I watched, I believe, all their games, and they are one of my favorite teams at the moment. I will definitely be cheering for them in the round of 16, and I'm very happy they finished first in this group. Now Croatia, they came second with Belgium being eliminated. Now this group I got completely wrong, I believe. So in my predictions I said that Belgium would finish first in this group, and I can't remember, I believe I had some hopes about Canada doing well, but they proved to be one of the worst teams in this tournament. They lost all their games, and they looked like an amateur team pretty much. So they disappointed, but Belgium also, they didn't look good. This first game that they won against Canada, I remember that game, it was 1-0 at the end for Belgium, but Canada were clearly the better team. They should have won that game, but they weren't clinical enough. So Belgium won the game, but they were quite bad. Second game, they lost against Morocco 2-0, and deservingly. Morocco deserved to win that game. And then in the last game of the group stage, they played quite a boring 0-0 against Croatia, and if they won that game they would have went above them and finished second, but Romelu Lukaku missed about 4 or 5 sitters in that game. So because of that, Belgium are another European team to get knocked out of these group stages. So Group G, Brazil obviously finished first, but actually yesterday, believe it or not, we were only 1 goal away from Switzerland, and Brazil would have finished second in this group. So at the end they were lucky to finish first, and Switzerland, with a very entertaining game against Serbia, winning that game 3-2 with a bunch of turnarounds. So Switzerland was winning 1-0, then Serbia was winning 2-1, then it was 3-2 for Switzerland. So a crazy game, an entertaining game, and they ended up second in the end. Shout out to Cameroon, they played their hearts out. They won against Brazil yesterday, and they had an amazing game against Serbia, finishing 3-3. and another great team from Africa in this tournament. And the last group H, finished with another shocker. Portugal finished first, obviously, but then South Korea yesterday with their win against Portugal, going above Uruguay because they have more goals scored than them. So with both teams with 4 points, but South Korea have 4 goals scored and Uruguay only 2. So because of that, South Korea actually got out of this group and Ghana finished last, which I felt sad about because Ghana was one of my favorite teams in this tournament. I enjoyed their games and I was hoping they would win against Uruguay, but they ended up going out of this group. So yeah, that's the group stages. Very exciting, especially the third round with a bunch of unexpected results at the end. And yeah, so let's really quickly talk about some of these group stage things that I noticed. So the biggest surprises so far in this World Cup, for me at least, have been, like I said, Morocco. I did not expect them to play the way they played, and they finished first in their group, and I will be cheering for them in the knockout stages. So an amazing African team, and they really surprised me. Another team from Africa that surprised me was Ghana. I really enjoyed the way they played, and they have some exciting players like Kudus, for example, from Ajax. So actually before this World Cup I had little to no knowledge about African and Asian teams, but now seeing them play and seeing what players they have in their teams, I learned a lot about those areas, and I'm very excited about the future of the international football, let's say it like that. So Morocco, Ghana surprised me, also Ecuador surprised me in that group A, even though they didn't qualify. They played very compact, great as a team, and their striker Valencia was on point. Another great team. Also Australia surprised me because I thought they were one of the worst teams, if not the worst, in this World Cup, but they got out of groups. They defended very well, compact as a team. And another surprise, and also Japan surprised me. I did not expect them to get out of this group, let alone finish first with Spain and Germany. So those are the teams that surprised me in this World Cup. Now the biggest disappointments, Belgium definitely won. Now I didn't expect them to have a good tournament. I predicted they would get knocked out into the round of 16, but I did expect them to finish first in this group comfortably, so they disappointed me. Uruguay, another team, all the way until the third game they were awful. They couldn't score a goal to save their life, and another disappointment. I thought they would be good, at least until the round they would reach until the round of the quarterfinals, but nothing from them. Canada also disappointed me. I expected a lot from them. From what I heard, they had a young and exciting team, but they did not look good. They were probably the second worst team of the tournament, so they disappointed. And also Wales. I did expect Wales to qualify into the round of 16, but they finished last in their group, so another disappointment. Now, best game of this tournament, for me at least, there were a lot of good games, a lot of exciting games. The best game for me was Cameroon versus Serbia. It was in the second round, I believe, and it finished 3-3. Very exciting game, attacking game, both teams just attacking each other for 90 minutes. That was the best game of the tournament for me, with also Ghana against South Korea, which played right after that game, being another amazing game. It finished 3-2 for Korea, or was it 3-2 for Ghana? Let me just check. Yes, it was 3-2 for Ghana, so another amazing game and very enjoyable. The worst game so far, keep in mind I haven't watched all the games, so the worst game for me was England versus USA, a boring 0-0 game, and it felt like it was pre-calculated from both of the teams, so that was quite a boring game. Top scorer so far, so we have a bunch of players. Let's go here. We have no here maybe. Yes, so we have a bunch of players with 3 goals. So top scorer at the moment, Kylian Mbappe with 3 goals and 1 assist. With Morata, Gakpo, Rashford still being in the tournament and also having 3 goals. So my prediction for this tournament, for the end of the tournament, I believe the top scorer is going to be Kylian Mbappe, and it's going to be between him and Messi probably, because I can see France and Argentina going all the way, so playing 7 games, both of those teams. So it's going to come down between Mbappe and Messi, and I predict Mbappe will probably be the top scorer, with Messi being something like the MVP or the best player of the tournament with his goals and assists. So the best player so far, it's actually very hard to say who that is. Probably I would have to say it's either Mbappe or maybe actually Bruno Fernandes from Portugal. He's had a very good group stage. So he played 2 games and he scored 2 goals in the second game, and he got 2 amazing assists in the first game. So he got arrested in the third game, so he also has had an amazing tournament. So I would say the best player so far has been either Mbappe or Bruno Fernandes, one of those 2. Now the best young player, there are quite a lot in this group. So Cody Gakpo from the Netherlands has had an amazing tournament, another great young player. Kudus from Ghana also surprised me, another great player. I'm sure he will be a huge star in the future. And one more young player that looked great in this tournament, even though he's going home about now, it's Musiala from Germany. So he plays in the midfield for them, I believe number 10, and he's very young. He's 19 years old, I believe, from Bayern, and he had an amazing tournament, and he's definitely one to keep an eye on the future. So most entertaining teams, like I said, Serbia, I enjoyed their games, Ghana as well, Japan, Morocco, all these teams were very entertaining to watch in this tournament so far. Now the most boring team has been Qatar for me. They just don't have the quality of the World Cup and should not be playing in it. Now, fun fact for the group stage, no team actually won all the 3 games. So no team got 9 points. The most a team got is 7 points. So I believe that hasn't happened in a very long time. So that just tells us about the quality of the World Cup and about the fact that these groups were very equal and everyone had a chance against everyone. So yeah, that's pretty much it about the group stage. Once again, an amazing group stage, possibly the best one I can remember in my personal lifetime. So, or at least since I have watched the World Cups. So an amazing group stage, and hopefully the elimination stage will be amazing as well. So let's look at the round of 16 uh, teams and duos, and let's try to predict, even though it's very hard as the group stages showed. So the first round of 16 game we have, it's Netherlands versus the USA. It's played today, and I can I can't really see USA doing anything here. So I see a lot of people are saying that the USA are going to surprise the Netherlands, but the problem that USA has, or at least had in the group stages, they don't really score that many goals. So in 3 games they only scored 2 goals, I believe. One against Wales and one against Iran. So 3 games, only 2 goals, and Netherlands are actually quite good defensively. They don't give out many chances. So the USA will probably get a couple of chances in this game, and they have to make sure they score those chances. But I can't see it, honestly. I believe Netherlands are going to win this game. So I have Netherlands going through to the quarterfinals. Let me just see if I can click that. No, it goes to another window. So it doesn't matter. So the Netherlands going to the quarterfinals, and next game is Argentina versus Australia. Another game in which I can't really see an upset. So Argentina solid defensively, they don't concede a lot of goals. Australia will have a lot of problems scoring. They will probably park the bus and try to keep this game 0-0 as long as possible. But at the end of the game, Argentina have this player. I don't know if you have heard of him. He's called Lionel Messi. He's quite good at breaking down teams that are deep and defending. So Argentina will easily go through in this game, I believe. I don't think they will concede a goal. Probably they will win like 2-0 or something like that. So I have them going through, and the first quarter-final game will be Netherlands against Argentina, most likely. Now the next game, Japan versus Croatia. Now in this game I am going to go for a surprise win. So I am going to go for a Japan win. Now obviously Croatia is the favorite. Even though they finished second, they are still one of the best teams in the world. Let's not forget they played the final in 2019. But I believe Japan are going to produce the first surprise and knock out Croatia. Basically, Croatia have an amazing midfield three of Modric, Kovacic and Brozovic. But the problem is, after those 3 players that are actually quite old at this point after they get tired. So after the 60th minute or something like that, the whole team actually falls down and they don't play that good after that. So I personally predict that Japan, like they have shown in this tournament, they play until the 90th minute, so they never give up. And I predict they are going to score a couple of late goals and eventually knock out Croatia. So I have Japan going through, and that being the first surprise of this tournament. Now the next round of 16 game is Brazil versus South Korea, and this should be an easy Brazil qualify to the quarterfinals. Now, as you probably know, Neymar got injured into the first game, so I really hope for Brazil and for this whole World Cup that Neymar will be fit. If not for a round of 16 for the quarterfinals, it would be a real shame for him to not be a part of this World Cup. And maybe, just maybe, if Neymar doesn't play, Brazil might struggle to create chances, but they're still amazing defensively, and I don't think they will concede a goal from South Korea. So unfortunately for the Koreans, it's great that they got so far, but this is the end for them, I believe. So Brazil going through to the quarterfinals, where they will play Japan, in my opinion. So the next game, France versus Poland. So another quite easy game, on paper at least, for France. So Poland, they didn't look good in their game against Argentina in the last game, so they parked the bus and basically said, let's just see how long we can keep this 0-0, and they did for one half, but after that they scored a cheap easy goal and they did nothing after that. So I believe the same thing will happen in this game as well. I think this is an easy draw for France, and they easily go through to the quarterfinals. England versus Senegal is going to be one of their opponent there, so on paper, once again, England is clearly the stronger team. What should I say about England? So they had mixed games. So obviously in their first game they played amazing and they scored 6 goals. Then against USA they were quite boring, and I think England is going to win this game because surprisingly in this tournament, when they play against weaker teams than them, they do play in a back four, so they do play more attackingly, which is a positive for England because they have an amazing attacking players. So I think they will win this game, but the problem for them is, if they play against France, will they go back into their back five and try to defend and eventually get eliminated like that? But yeah, for this game I have England going through. And the last two games, Morocco versus Spain. Now maybe this is a little bit subjective, because like I said, I love Morocco. I love the way they play. I love their spirit, their team spirit, and the hype around the stadium with all their fans there. So I'm going to go for a shock here. I'm gonna go for Morocco win against Spain. It's going to be hard. Hopefully Morocco won't change the way they play and park the bus. I hope that doesn't happen. So I hope they go out and play their hearts out like they did in all of their games so far. And hopefully the fact that Spain calculated to finish second in the group stages will end up biting them at the end, and kind of like a bad karma for them for doing that. So hopefully Morocco, I have Morocco qualifying for the round of for the quarterfinals, so that would be the second big shock of this round of 16. And then the last game, Portugal against Switzerland. So this will probably be a boring, low scoring game. So I can see this game being the first game that's going to go to penalties in this World Cup. So I can see it being like a 0-0 or a 1-1 maybe until the end. And if it goes on penalties, I have Portugal going through, and the reason is their goalkeeper Diogo Costa is actually an amazing penalty stopper. So only this season in the Champions League he had, I believe, 3 penalty saves so far. So he is amazing at that position. So because of him, I do predict Portugal to go through to the quarterfinals, but I don't think they look great. I don't think they will play much more after that. So once again, my predictions would be Netherlands going through, Argentina going through, Japan, Brazil, France, England, Morocco and Portugal. So 2 huge surprises here. Croatia getting eliminated and Spain. So let's see how that will go. It's very unpredictable, this World Cup, which is good. But yeah, those are my predictions for the round of 16. Now, I believe I covered everything for today for this video. It's probably again longer than I wanted to be, but yeah, that's all. Thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this World Cup as much as I did, and I hope we have an amazing rest of the tournament. So shout out to all of you for watching the videos, and please leave a like if you got to this point. Thank you for watching, and I will see you at the next video, which will hopefully be the quarterfinal predictions.